Puritans on social media get bothered over the smallest things, and now instead of just letting people enjoy a video game, they are getting so outraged on social media over Persona 3 Reload's Jiggle physics. I have a few different things that I want to show off, but before we get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, follow me on social media, and consider supporting through Patreon or via YouTube memberships. Now, it's unfortunate, but I have to talk about people getting outraged all the time on this channel because instead of just simply leaving a dislike and moving forward with your lives, people have to fight against things and say, oh, I hate this so much, so I want it banned, I want developers to remove it, and they try to peer pressure them into changing their content, which of course is just so terrible. But now there's outrage surrounding Persona 3 Reload. This is a Niche Gamer article I wanted to reference. It says new footage for the upcoming Persona 3 Reload has upset a certain sect of Twitter users due to there being breast physics for the main character. Now, I personally think breast physics and butt physics, any kind of jiggle is perfectly fine because I understand that these are fictional characters in fictional worlds doing fictional things. I don't think a real person can summon ice, okay? I just don't think that. So I can accept, wow, this is a fictional character. But there are some people online who can't and who want things like this removed from video games and entertainment in general because they think it bothers people so much, even though they're really the only ones crying about it. It says a new trailer was released for the redheaded beauty. Hey, I just have to say, I'm so happy that we're getting some redhead representation, all right, because Hollywood has erased redheads. The only hope now are for video games, and the new MJ model didn't have, the most red hair, so I'm pretty happy to see this. But yes, Mitsuru Kirijo's new trailer is out on social media. Plenty of people are talking about it, and she looks fantastic. This is the type of character I want to see in my video games. She looks beautiful, she looks strong and feminine, and I just absolutely adore her. But of course, while many applauded, the jiggle physics and the way that she just looks in general, there were the usual small amount of, rage from certain individuals on Twitter/X, whatever you want to call it, just people being outraged. They're saying things like, y'all ruin everything, referring to the developers who simply created this character that looks awesome, by the way. They've gone after Atlas, saying things like Atlas when they see a teenager, and of course it's the gif where his eyes go big and then he's got hearts all in his eyes. That is just so absurd, okay, because this character, first of all, is supposed to be 20 years old. That's not a teenager anymore, but even if she was like 17 or 18, she is a fictional character, okay? She is not real in any way, shape, or form. The situation that she is in does not represent the real world in any way, shape, or form. It is just absurd that this is what they go to. They just instantly go to attacking the creatives, the developers, basically calling them perverts for creating a good-looking character that happens to have jiggle physics, which, by the way, real breasts have real life jiggle physics. Have you never seen them before? I mean, this is just absurd. People are saying things like, I feel like we shouldn't give underage characters boob or ass physics, even if it's more realistic. So these people are now calling for bans for things like jiggle physics in video games. I mean, come on now. Do they not see how ridiculous that sounds? We are talking about a video game here. People are even requesting that Atlas change their minds and remove the jiggle physics, which of course just is so absurd. I mean, if you do not like this game, just don't play it. Just ignore it. It's not going to kill you to skip one single game, especially when this tweet blew up because people were praising this decision. People were appreciating this decision. Why is the game anime? It makes me so sad they had to put this in. Be normal for once, WTF. Boobs don't work like that. Literally, get away from her. This post stinks, but literally, why does it happen that boobs don't work like that? They are so bothered that she is so attractive in this title. This person cracked me up. Persona fans are never beating. I have never seen or felt the touch of a woman IRL allegations. Well, hey, I just touched a woman. How does that make you feel? Does that trigger you? You guys are losers. God, they're already scrambling to add in gross fan service that wasn't there before. At least she's 18. The bar is in the mantle of the earth. I mean, these people are never happy. Okay, first you say, oh, she's a young teenager. She's underage. You can't have these things. And oh, at least she's 18. And then it's gross fan service. Why is it gross fan service? Okay, it is perfectly fine if you do not like Persona, if you do not like her character model, if you do not like this game. You can just simply leave a simple response saying, hey, I just don't like this, and then move on with your lives. But instead, they have to say these ridiculous and mostly gross things about, fans of the franchise, about the developers. I mean, it just never ends with these people. And unfortunately, these are the type of individuals that cause, censorship in video games. I've talked about this a couple of times, but Amazon had stood by Blue Protocol censorship, and they had actually decided to remove Jiggle physics from the character creation menu because some people found it a little bit too inappropriate. So they decided to remove it, and then they stood by it. It's these types of people that lead to video game censorship, and that's why I'm sitting here and I'm calling them out. Luckily, there are also a lot of other games that have jiggle physics, and developers either do not cave into outrage or they, try to add things back into their games if they've taken a step in the wrong direction, right? Like with Dead or Alive, they made some unfortunate decisions with DOA 6, but they did, add back in breast physics, which people were happy about. And we also have Knights of Azure 2, and they showcased extra jiggly bath scenes, and that made a lot of people happy. But yes, these Puritans are the reasons why, unfortunately, we see so much video game censorship and just censorship in entertainment in general. But it's why I try to call them out as much as possible, because these people are never happy. And if developers waste their time trying to appeal to these people and making their games for these people, every single title is going to be a cookie cutter, toned down, watered down experience that players like myself and most of you watching will not support. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this and of course found it important and informative, make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you didn't, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.